millions of consumer dollars are being spent on TikTok right now. If you've been on TikTok lately, you've probably noticed that the app has basically become somewhere to shop. Every other video that's on your For You page is promoting some sort of product that advertisers know you'll probably like because of your algorithm and how you interact with similar ads. And this is a complete change in the layout and the use of the app compared to just 6 months ago when TikTok Shop was first introduced to users. And you might even find yourself a bit annoyed by the constant pushing of products. But instead of being annoyed, just imagine what could happen if you capitalize on consumerism, found a product that could sell, and know how to create ads that could bring you in life-changing sales. You might find yourself generating over $15,000 in less than 30 days like my student Clavi. And that is the exact same position, if not more, that you'll be in by the end of this video, because you're gonna be able to identify what a winning product looks like and what type of ads you should be getting created in order to go viral. I'm even gonna let you in on some of my organic TikTok ad strategies so that you can start testing it out today. Now, the main demographic on TikTok at the moment would be considered Gen Z. This means that the highest majority of users are between the age of 19 to 24. This information needs to tell you 3 things. Starting off with number 1, gaining the attention of these users with the products and ads that you're putting out needs to be what you're striving for. With short form content taking over, attention spans are getting shorter and shorter, which means that right now, the most profitable thing that you can have is the attention of consumers. Next, the users are usually highly influenced. TikTok is an app that is all about trends. So if a product does start to trend, it starts to trend hard and very fast. So paying attention, understanding, and even anticipating these different trends will help you make the most out of selling online. And make sure to stay with me because we'll be getting into how to do that in a minute. And third and lastly, they do not like being advertised to. And I know you may be thinking, well, isn't that what we're trying to do? And the answer is yes. But I'm going to be covering a specific type of content that advertises without actually making the consumer feel advertised to. But before we head into any of that, we need to talk about the type of products that you should be selling on this platform. And there's a couple things that you should be looking for within these products. And that all starts with having a wow factor or solving some sort of problem for the consumer. And I want to focus on the wow factor right now though, because this is critical to selling well on TikTok. And that's because the wow factor behind the product is what will help create the viral aspect within your ads. So whether the product only has a wow factor or the way that it solves a problem is the wow factor, just make sure that the wow factor is there. So do not go out there trying to sell a regular paper towel rack. Instead, sell a paper towel rack that doubles as a dish rack or something like that. It needs to be a product that consumers genuinely feel like they want after just seeing it one time. Next, you want the product to hold enough value that consumers on this app feel comfortable enough to spend between $20 and $50. And although consumers tend to be willing to spend less on TikTok over other social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram, they are still willing to spend money. And that is all that matters. And it should be a product that you will not be losing money on pricing it between that range, but one that consumers see enough value in to spend that much. And lastly, the product needs to be falling in line with some sort of trend that's happening, whether that's through verifying a trend on Google Trends or just picking up a certain type of product continuing to go viral on the app. At the end of the day, you just want the product that you're selling to be in demand, because without consumers looking for your product, you cannot expect to gain traffic to your store. Now, finding these type of products is not just a matter of scrolling through the app for hours and hoping and praying that you find them. I personally use a product research and fulfillment app called AutoDS, where they have a TikTok Spy section that has some of the best performing ads on the platform with data to back it up. Under each and every advertisement, you'll see the performance of it on TikTok, which helps you decide a lot easier on whether or not you should be selling that type of product. And I'm gonna go ahead and drop a free 30-day trial out so you can try AutoDS in the description down below, so you can go find your own winning products and meet the points that we just covered. Now that you know what you should be looking for in the products that you're gonna be selling on TikTok, let's talk about what you all came here for, which is the ads, and how you're gonna make sure you go viral with your products. And in order to help you know how to do that, I think it's very important for you to know what makes up a great TikTok ad. As I said previously, users don't necessarily like it to be so obvious that they're being advertised to, but it makes sense. You look at the flow of your TikTok For You page, which is really just raw and organic content created by content creators. An ad that you would typically see on a platform like Facebook would stick out like a sore thumb and disrupt the entire flow of the scroll. This is where storytelling plays a major role in some of the best advertising on the market. And you've probably seen this type of content before. The ones where they just come up with the causes that the product fixed. For example, you can see in this advertisement, they're announcing the problem that people are having and then immediately showing the solution that this product offers. This is the type of content that really pulls the attention of consumers, and even makes them want to watch to the very end to see how the story ends, even though they're really watching the ad all the way through. So not only does it just help increase the watch time, but because so many people will end up watching this type of content longer, TikTok's algorithm is going to pick that up as being a good piece of content. And with that happening, TikTok is going to help push it into the algorithm and get it pushed to even more people who interact in similar ways to the people who've already watched it. And in turn, this will help create that viral ad that you were looking for. The next type of content that dominates on this platform is UGC content, or user-generated content. UGC content is ultimately when an actual person creates ads surrounding your product for you to go ahead and use. And the purpose of these types of ads is to, again, to not look too ad-like, keep the flow of the scroll, and to create more organic ads that consumers can relate to. And you want to make sure the UGC creator who is creating your ads should always be someone that the same audience you're trying to appeal to with your product can also relate to. So for example, if I'm selling the viral Spanx that I'm sure many of you have seen, then you're not going to hire an extremely skinny man to create the video for you, because you know that's most likely not the audience that will be buying your product. Instead, you would want a mid to plus size woman so that other women who identify with her are able to see the product in action and most likely put money in your pocket. Seeing products work in real time, it just adds to the wow factor behind the product and cause these type of things to easily go viral as well. Now, there are a couple different forms of content that you can get from UGC creators that work actually really well in this space. There's the storytelling ads, where creators just kind of talk about something that's happened to them, and then within it, they promote the product that you're selling. Then there's the unboxing videos, where the UGC creator literally just unboxes your product, talks about everything they're seeing while they're unboxing the product, plus why they're so excited to have it. Next is the testimonial style content, which in my opinion is one of the best types of content you can have surrounding your product. You have to understand that people love seeing that the product they're thinking about buying is actually working for someone else, and that that person loves what the product is doing for them. And lastly are the lifestyle type of videos that UGC creators can create that give more of an everyday and action kind of feel, but in the midst of their day in the lives, they're showing the use of your product. And I want you to understand that the content that you have is going to be so lucrative while trying to grow your business on TikTok. And each of these types of content have the ability to help drive millions of eyes to your product without costing you anything in advertising. And there are hundreds of sites out there to grab your UGC content from, like Billo and Bazaar Voice, which are some of the top ranked. But some of the best things about UGC content is that it does not have to be perfect or extremely high quality. The more realistic and raw, the better. This means that you can even get your friends in on the action of creating content so that you can actually save on the cost of getting multiple ads made. Just follow the guidelines that I gave you throughout this video and you'll be on your way to posting your first pieces of viral content. Now, when it comes to making sure that these ads are being seen, I told you guys I was gonna let you in on some of my organic ad strategies so that you can start getting eyes on your content right now. This organic ad strategy is gonna help you to get eyes on your ads, your store, and your products without spending anything to do it. So let's go ahead and talk about how. Starting off with the content strategy for TikTok. Here, with any of the videos that you're putting out, you do want to make sure they're a vertical video and that they're between 8 and 15 seconds. I told you guys earlier that people's attention span now is slim to none with short form content, so you want to make sure that every one of your ads is sticking in between that time frame. Next, every one of your ads need to follow a structured approach, where you're first always starting off with a hook to make sure you're grabbing the user's attention, showcasing the product immediately afterwards, as well as some features and benefits that people definitely would want to know if they were to buy the product. And then at the very end of your video, you want to make sure that you have a call to action so you're leading the customers directly where you want them to, which is either the link in your bio or your website URL that's going to go to the product page of the product that you're selling. Consumers are not consumers unless you give them direction, and that direction is to come buy from you, so you never want to miss out on giving out a clear call to action. Next, within your ad, you want to make sure it's transitioning every 3 to 4 seconds to ensure that you're keeping the user's attention. And throughout the ad, you're leveraging trending sounds or text-to-speech. TikTok, the trends, and the people on TikTok rely heavily on trending sounds, and you want to make sure that you're doing this in every one of your ads. Next, to make sure you're tapping into the right audience, using relevant hashtags is definitely going to be mandatory. I always recommend using 1 to 3 relevant hashtags that go with the product that you're selling, so you're tapping into the right type of audience that will buy your product. And like I told you earlier, these people do not want to feel like they're being advertised to. So make sure that you have great storytelling within your ad that makes the customer want to come buy from you. Now, we talked about the things that were in here heavily throughout this video, making sure the content is engaging, hooking the viewers right from the jump, and using the specific tactics that we talked about within the content will all be elements that help create virality behind the content. Now, with the ads that you have, the way that you push your content in your organic ad strategy will be huge. And there's 2 main ways that you can do this depending on the situation that you're in. And that situation is if you have under 1,000 followers on TikTok or more than 1,000 followers. So if you have under 1,000 followers on TikTok, you cannot put anything in your bio. So that means you don't really have anywhere to go ahead and drive your traffic to. So instead, you want to set up an Instagram page and have the landing page in the Instagram bio to push the traffic directly to your TikTok account. But if you do have over 1,000 followers, you just want to stick on TikTok and use the link in your bio. So from here, while you're posting on that account, you want to be experimenting with different posting times. You want to be trying even times one day and odd times the next day and evaluating that performance. From there, you'll be deciding which content performed the best for you based off of the views, comments, shares, likes, and watch time. And then you just want to take the content that is working the best for you, make multiple variations of it, and continue to post the content during the best times that have shown to bring in the most engagement. And then once you get this organic ad strategy down packed, you can start expanding across other social media platforms so you can bring in even more eyes organically to your store. And you have to understand, diversification of advertising is extremely important while you're not spending money on ads. Because ultimately, the more eyes you can get on your content, the better and more money that comes into your pockets. And the two suggested platforms you can expand to is Instagram and YouTube, where you're also able to add links to your store directly on these platforms. On Instagram, Reels are going to be your best friend as they actually perform very well. They're trying to copy TikTok with pushing out this short form content. To take the initiative on this, you want to make a personal account, set it up, and add a link in your bio. From here, you'll be posting 3 to 5 times per day, just like TikTok, but you will have to be patient. Views are extremely delayed due to the algorithm, where you can find yourself in a position of getting 0 views for weeks. But the more that you post, the more opportunities that you have of going viral. Now with YouTube, shorts are getting promoted very fast, where this is staying right in your lane of pushing short form content. On YouTube, you want to make a personal account and make sure you set it up. And you want to add a link in your channel description. You also want to make sure you're adding a link to the comments of your YouTube shorts. And then from here, post 3 to 5 times per day like TikTok and Instagram, and be patient. But unlike Instagram, views do come very quickly on shorts, so make sure to take full advantage of this. Now I have a ton of other tips throughout the slideshow, and I'll be dropping the full slideshow for you guys as soon as this video reaches 2,000 likes. So make sure to keep smashing that like button down below if you want that strategy in your hand. Now, if you are still with me, you should understand how to identify a winning dropshipping product that will sell well on TikTok. You should know exactly how to create ads that will go viral on the app, and you were even just set up with my proven organic ad strategy. And now it's time for you to put it all together and execute. And I cannot wait to see what life-changing results you achieve when you do. This is AC with Supreme Ecom, and I'm out.
They gon' want a piece when you got it like that. Like Jake said, we gon' spend it, get it right back. Stack that internet money till the site crash. They on IG tryna get a like back. See, they don't talk that talk, they just type fast.